Located on 225 acres in Garden City, Long Island, Nassau Community College, a member of the State University of New York system, has close to 20,000 students attend the school each year. The college mascot is Leo the Lion, and these are his stories of the school's absolute best and brightest who have graduated over the past 50-plus years. Let's catch up together as the Alumni Association of Nassau Community College proudly presents Lion Tales, a Nassau Community College Foundation production on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Welcome to Lion Tales, powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation. My name is Aurora Workman. I am president of the Nassau Community College Alumni Association. I'm here with my friend and co-host, Dr. Lynnda Nadien, a proud graduate of Nassau Community College, and together we'll share stories that will inspire, uplift, and often amuse you.
Each week, Aurora and I will introduce you to alumni of Nassau Community College interested in sharing their experience here at Nassau Community College, along with the secrets to their success.
While many Nassau students begin successful careers right after graduations, others transfer to four-year colleges and universities. These students arrive at their four-year institutions as juniors, fully prepared for the next leg of their educational journey. Plus, they've saved a bundle on tuition while at Nassau Community College. Get the straight story on how easy Nassau can make your transferability. Go online to www.ncc.edu.
If you, our listening audience, has any positive news you would like to share about Nassau Community College alumni, engagements, births, graduations, weddings, and or accolades, email us at alumni@ncc.edu and we will shout you out.
Well, today's guest is Keba Cairo, class of 2001, a high-spirited children's book author, a longtime entrepreneur, and the founder of Don't Snooze On Clues, which provides anti-bullying and internet safety programs to elementary and middle school students while providing educators and parents with necessary tools to advocate. And she is a very proud graduate of Nassau Community College. Welcome to Lion Tales, Keba.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
So tell us about the work you lead in the restoration and development of the Eastside Access Project Artifact Museum.
Okay, so I worked at MTA, and as you know, they have an Eastside Access Project, which is really building a tunnel from Queens, Sunnyside, Queens, into Manhattan. And working with them, it was pretty interesting, actually. This was the first time working with engineers, and it's such a construction-based industry, and it's so many guys. I was like one of the only girls around. But we decided to create an artifacts museum because there was just so many different things and moving parts to putting a tunnel together, and people wanted to know what it was about. How do you get the tunnel done? So that was really some interesting work where we took parts of this huge machine that creates the tunnel. I mean, all of the different parts of this project was just crazy, and we just wanted to be able to bring some kind of realism to the whole project, because people heard of this Eastside Access Project, but they don't necessarily know what it is about.
So those artifacts, did y'all find them while they were tunneling? Is that where the artifacts came?
Artifacts that we found, artifacts that were like pieces of the machine that we use, whether it be things that they import from other countries. They had pictures of them, whether we couldn't have the actual pieces in there. So it's to my understanding, because this was a number of years ago, it's to my understanding since then that museum has been closed down. It was on 2nd Avenue where they had it. So I'm guessing it's not enough footwork or, people to man it. I'm not sure.
I can't go find my high school ring now.
No, so it's no longer there, but that was a pretty interesting project.
And so how did you exercise your passion for education and community outreach while working at New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene and working with lead poisoning prevention programs?
So the Department of Health was pretty much one of my first real jobs. I started as an intern there, and they hired me, and I started off in the records department and then moved my way up to the lead poisoning prevention program. Now, with the lead poisoning prevention program, we go out into the community all the time to discuss various hazards in healthy homes and how your children can contract lead poisoning and different things that you should do in the home to protect them from it. So anywhere that there were parents, pretty much we were out in the community speaking to them and trying to inform them of all the hazards. So Yes.
And are there statistics about students or children that do develop lead poisoning? Has that been lowered over the years?
Well, it has been lowered just based on the education that's been given out. They've been really putting foot to the metal when it comes to educating the public and letting them know that any homes that were built before a certain time, that you should be careful of the paint and where it usually chips the most, whether it be windowsills and doorways. And it's so easy for kids to contract the lead poisoning. And the fact is that they can actually develop so many different learning disabilities and all these different things. So it's a huge factor. And they did put a lot of effort into making sure the community was educated about it.
And I think those jobs that you had were really unique into getting into communities that you weren't familiar with and communities that were new to you.
Absolutely.
And so some of this I know we'll find as we continue to talk will come out in the work that you actually have done. But I thought it was really interesting to find that you have really had a good insight into areas.
By force.
Yes.
It was my first job, so it was just kind of like, okay, we get out into the community, just get out there. But I think it was really good grounds to kind of get my foot wet and improve on my public speaking and improve on just like connecting with the community and being able to help them as far as them having an issue and finding a solution for it.
So here at Nassau, when you were here, did you take any public speaking classes?
Absolutely. So I was a liberal arts major, but I did fancy communication. So I took a lot of my electives were in like the communications side, and public speaking definitely was one of those that stood out to me because, of course, you had to stand in front of the class, and I'm just like, what? I didn't realize that.
No, it's so important to have that skill,
and it definitely helped. It helped, and so those classes that push you in front of the rest of your classmates and challenged you to put your thoughts together and succinctly express that definitely helped in my work.
What other classes do you remember taking here that probably added to it, or you took it for fun?
I took a lot of self-defense classes. I have 3 brothers, and fighting was always our thing, and I'm just like one of the guys. So it came easy to me, and I just wanted to learn how to properly defend myself as a girl and walking across campuses late at night and just going to your car. So it's always good to have like those self-defense classes, and I remember those the most because I loved them.
I came from a lot of brothers, so I understand what you mean. But as we're going, you're listening to Lion Tales on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Aurora Workman along with Dr. Lynnda Nadien, and our guest today is Keba Cairo, class of 2001. Keba was recognized as a 2015 Goodwill Ambassador by the I Change Nation's Interfaith Peace Building Initiative for her continuous work in the community, and she is a very proud graduate of Nassau Community College.
So the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting that occurred on December 14, 2012 in Newtown, Connecticut was life-changing for you. Can you tell us how?
So at that time, my son was 6 years old, and as you know, the Sandy Hook incident was all over the news, and he was exposed to it. He saw it in the newspaper where his grandpa read newspapers every day. He saw it on the television. It was on the news. And so he had a hard time just kind of wanting to go back to school. And he couldn't wrap around his little brain that like, it's okay, it's not going to happen. So we had to have these early conversations that, truth be told, I thought was a little early for him. But due to the circumstances, I had to have them, right? So we started having these discussions of safety, and I had to start encouraging him to speak up if something makes him feel uncomfortable. If he sees something that doesn't look right, tell his teacher. If I'm not there, who's the next person that you should talk to? So we started having these discussions, and I think that is one of the reasons that I started writing, because I figured if I'm having this issue, a lot of other parents are probably having it as well. Definitely. So I figured, why not create a book, not just for me, but for the other children, not just for my child, but for the other children out there. So we worked together on the project, and he gave his feedback on what he should do. But it was really exciting. But unfortunately, something so devastating, I always try to take a tragedy and turn it around into something positive. So that's the reason why I started the book.
So Don't Snooze on Clues. What is the message that you want to convey?
So the book Don't Snooze on Clues pretty much gives it helps kids to understand and identify potentially hazardous or dangerous situations and how they can seek help. And through this book, I started the company called Don't Snooze on Clues, which, as Aurora mentioned, provides anti-bullying and internet safety programming for elementary and middle school students.
And the organization Don't Snooze on Clues, what exactly do they do, and how does that work for families and students? And children?
We go into the schools and we do assembly-based programs where we're able to provide kids with very simple problem-solving techniques on how to deal with bullying, how to deal with safety, how to be observant, internet safety. So we just try to give them simple steps. Sometimes I think we try to do the most. We fluff everything up too much, and we just have to come back to basics. So the programs that we have incorporate a lot of fun so that the kids, I believe that they learn best when having fun. So we incorporate a lot of interaction as well for the parents. I think every last one of our workshops incorporate fun and interactive activities just because we're adults doesn't mean that we don't like to have fun.
That's right.
So we incorporate that with the parents, we incorporate that with the staff, and we incorporate it with the kids.
What did you find was sort of the most dangerous type of activity that children are really involved in, in 2018?
Well, obviously, they're online the most, right? So internet safety, I find to be at the top of the list. They are all on some sort of social media platform. And I conduct all of these workshops, and it's so crazy because the kids start younger and younger, and I'm like, you're not supposed to have a social media platform. What are you doing? But they are exposed to it, and they need to be educated and understand that just because it's, let's say, Snapchat, and just because it's videos doesn't necessarily mean you can't be bullied on it. As long as there's some kind of direct messaging, some DM, anything with pictures and videos could be altered and then be sent out to millions of people at the same time. So they have to learn their social responsibility online as well. So I find that to be really the biggest hurdle right now, which is trying to help kids understand their responsibility online as well.
Right. And what seems, sort of funny at that time when they're doing it, all of a sudden backfires, and a lot of the students and their parents have had issues because they can't take it back.
Right. And they don't realize the ramifications too, because just because you didn't start off sending out this explicit email or text message, but you forwarded it to 5 friends, you're part of the problem. And guess what? When the cops do, if that parent then decides to take legal action, that child is then responsible. That child is part of the chain. So they don't realize that. And I like to emphasize that you are also going to be in trouble, not just because you didn't start it, And
then are you actually asking parents to sort of be more responsible with the phone, because parents are paying the bill, obviously, and they want the students and kids to be responsible for using that. And so would you recommend that a parent take that phone away?
Absolutely. I mean, that phone is the prized possession, so we have to use it against them too.
Yeah.
So,
and not forever, but just
of course,
generally that there has to be some time off from the phone.
And I would employ parents to even just kind of go through their phone. I do that. I have a 12-year-old, and every night I just kind of scroll through his text messages. I go through the Instagram, the DMs. I just try to make sure that what the conversations he's having is appropriate. I'm trying to make sure that people that are contacting him, and we have these discussions all the time.
You are listening to Lion Tales. Today's guest is Keba Cairo, who in 2017 was awarded a proclamation from New York State Senator Leroy Comrie for the exemplary service Don't Snooze on Clues has performed in the community. My name is Lynnda Nadien, along with Aurora Workman, on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier.
My daughter Brooklyn was also a motivation for me to go back to school.
Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off.
At age 26, Kareem finished his high school diploma.
I could not have done it alone. I feel like if I didn't have anyone to push me, I wouldn't